We are already well into the middle of 2024 and we've already come across awesome albums and singles by male Seiyu artists and 2D groups. In this episode, let's talk about those that have impressed me so far. Let's kick off this episode of Seiyu Lounge. Welcome to Seiyu Lounge, I am your host Vanessa, and today let's talk about the best CDs of 2024 so far. I bring you 6 CDs that have impressed me so much and will quite possibly make the end of the year list features. The first CD is Shoya Chiba's Blessing. I feel like I've talked quite extensively about this CD in various videos, special features and even episodes of this podcast. But let me talk about this again. I'm still impressed how Chiba Sho kicked off his solo career with the confidence of a seasoned artist. Very few rookie artists have this maturity in their vibe, music, and presentation. You could fool anyone saying that this was not a debut CD, and people would have believed you. In this case, the CD stood out to me for its consistency, as well as how Chiba ensured it started and ended with his personal touch by writing the lyrics to both songs. Blessing isn't just a collection of songs by a rookie solo artist. It's a journey through Chiba's musical influences and a showcase of his singing prowess. And while there have been other EPs that impressed me a bit more since this one was released, Blessing is still one of the best CDs released so far in 2024. Kentito Sain. It goes without saying that Kentito is a crafty singer-songwriter plus lyricist. Impressed with his first EP, Hanabi, and for his second EP, Sain, or Sign as it is called internationally, he basically went the extra mile. This is an EP with a retro aesthetic and futuristic vibes melded together to create a nostalgic sound that those born in the late 80s, early 90s will instantly love. The creativity in this CD is off the charts, leading to some of the craziest and most unpredictable compositions or instrumentals you can find in Ito's repertoire. But you can also expect the explosive, almost fantastic, danceable bass-driven sound that Ito has used us to in previous releases, but he ended up cranking up that bass to the maximum in here. Sai ended up being unpredictable, refreshing, and a lot of fun despite the major differences in music genres experienced throughout the EP. And let's not even start talking about the vocals because he impressed yet again with his control and technique. Shunichi Toki with Another Birthday. This is for me the best EP or album released so far in 2024. Shunichi Toki's Another Birthday has been on heavy rotation for me ever since I reviewed it. This is a mature, elegant, and really confident release by Shunichi Toki, who seems to be on a roll since the release of True Gazer in 2020. The talented singer continues to show why he is sought after for 2D music projects, why he is one of the most technical and consistent singers out there, and how he can deliver performances overflowing with emotion like no one else can. In Another Birthday, you have a collection of songs tailor-made to not only make Shunichi Toki sound amazing, but also tailored to his now mature image as a solo artist. Bringing jazz and especially Latin jazz into the conversation, as well as 90s-inspired pop with a dash of hip-hop to this release, were two of the things I loved the most and made this EP all the more enjoyable. Hard to choose a favorite song in this CD, and honestly, all the performances will instantly grab your attention in such a charismatic and charming way. A big reason why it is my favorite EP of the year so far is that when I'm looking for something to listen to, I instantly choose this CD and jam to it from start to finish. Lolodi's Deja Vu. I've said this countless times, this is a beautiful CD. Deja Vu strays a bit away from the darkness of the previous releases, Arc and Nothing, by being destructive but with a lot of beauty in the mix. This is one of those CDs I'll instantly say, don't read a review, listen to it, and let yourself be immersed in it. And that's because you have to feel the nuances in the composition, the little details in the vocals, everything. There's a brightness, but it's only apparent. You have words contradicting instrumentals. You have darkness running underneath all the songs, but it is especially noticeable in Invisible Cross. The biggest surprise, in my opinion, more than having the Czech National Orchestra playing Invisible Cross, is the R&B and slightly romantic yet fatalistic tone of Another Liar. For a moment, I thought this song would fit Anthos a bit more than them, but the way they performed this song was mesmerizing. When you listen to this album, you will have an uncanny feeling of having listened to these stories and feelings before, however, you never did. Knowing that this was the build-up to the last CD, Lolody was dropping hints at previous songs, from the lyrics down to the singing styles and instrumental hits and beats in the background to create that sense of déjà vu. But by the end of it all, this dream was something completely novel. It was and is majestic and unique. This is the best CD that Lolody has released so far, and at the time of writing this script, I have yet to listen to Choose. So this was the best CD released so far and one of the best CDs released in 2024. Crunv with Raise. It goes without saying that I love Crunv to the point that I listened to the very first 15 seconds of Said That, which is a powerful pop tune, and instantly purchased the physical edition of Raise. Crunv has been a breath of fresh air in the 2D music industry, consistently releasing quality pop and EDM music, and even R&B, and making the best of what is the most balanced vocal lineup I've ever came across in 2D music. I keep on saying that those who were in charge of the casting for this project really knew exactly what they wanted to do and what were the types of voices and skills in the singers they ended up choosing. The lineup, of course, was chosen by the fans, and honestly, they ended up choosing the members with the most power and charisma for the final lineup. And in Raise, even more than in the first EP, Climb, you could see why there's so much excitement about them. The perfect balance between the vocals, the way the lines are distributed, how the instrumentals sound nothing alike what other 2D pop groups are doing, even down to how the group sounds like a real idol group, are all things playing in their favor in Said That. I love their evolution in their group, culminating in a stylish, groovy and powerful EP that left me wanting more of them right now. Also, the group really embraced the mature vibe for this EP, cranking up the allure in some songs, being insanely charismatic in others, and basically with a masculine charm in other cases, and still with a sensibility and beauty that makes them the most exciting 2D pop group at the moment. Said That really left me wanting more, and I can't wait for basically them releasing more music, hopefully before the end of the year. Anthos is Room. And wrapping up this feature is Anthos with Room, a CD that I love for how unusual it is in its tone. Room shakes things up in the Think of Me CD series, making Anthos run for their lives in search of liberation while reflecting on their story so far in a series of impactful songs. The stakes are high in the dark, gritty EDM tune Liberation, easily the most violent song in their repertoire. But on the other hand, there is Clap Clap Clap, song that proves once again why you shouldn't just check the leading tracks for Anthos. This is a fun, upbeat and ridiculously groovy song that will make you dance right away. For me, if a song makes me react to its beat or bassline, you've already half won me over. And to completely win me over, they needed amazing vocals, and that's exactly what I got in Room. While there are CDs of theirs that I enjoy a lot more, this was the first time I genuinely love both songs equally. I had fun with Liberation, a song that usually wouldn't be something I'd love, and then grooved to no end in Clap Clap Clap, a song with a retro disco vibe going on in there that I love to bits. I know this group is going to surprise me in more, but so far this has been one of the best CDs released in 2024. This was a quick talk about the best CDs of 2024 so far, including solo artists and 2D groups. This year has been a bit of a downer in terms of the overall quality in comparison to previous years, but we still have amazing CDs to check. While I only covered 6 CDs in this episode, there are many more that impressed me this year. Visit the website handthatfeedshq.com and check all the CDs reviewed so far, and perhaps you may find your next favorite group, Seiyu artist, or CD. But enough about what I think. Now tell me, what are the CDs that have impressed you the most so far in 2024? And which would you recommend everyone to check? Let me know in the comments on YouTube, and remember, leave your comments as complex or as simple as they may be, and you can be featured on upcoming episodes of Seiyu Lounge. If you enjoyed this episode and don't want to miss the Hand That Feeds HQ's weekly mail Seiyu and music-related content, hit the subscribe button. And if you are listening to this episode on a podcast listening platform, please consider following the podcast and leaving a review. Leaving a review is really simple and helps other people find this podcast and fall in love with male Seiyu artists and 2D groups. I'll return next week with another episode of Seiyu Lounge. Thank you for listening, and see you guys around!